starting lineups first for the visiting Knights of Marian. Senior guard, number 13, Marian. Senior guard, number 25, Boston. Junior forward, number 2, Marian. Fifth year forward, number 32, Gerard. Sophomore forward, Abby McNally. The Knights are coached by Steve Brooks.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to the Sullivan Center on the beautiful campus of the University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. Welcome to today's broadcast of Fighting Saints basketball. Today, the finale of a two-day event, the CCAC Crossroads Showdown here in Joliet. St. Francis fell to St. Francis of Indiana yesterday in the opener. Marian defeated St. Xavier last night. And just moments ago, St. Francis of Indiana finished up a 2-0 week with a win over St. Xavier. Terry Bonadonna with you as we get set for the finale of the 4 games in 2 days event. The Fighting Saints come in with an overall record of 3-1. They suffered their first defeat yesterday, 69-57 at the hands of St. Francis of Indiana. Marian comes into today's game likewise with 1 loss. They are 3-1 with their lone loss coming to Concordia of Nebraska last week. We're ready to go here, and the opening tip is won by the Knights. Marian in silver today, going from left to right. St. Francis in their traveling brown uniforms, going from right to left. Officially the Fighting Saints, despite playing in their home arena, are the visiting team on the scoreboard. Ella Collier starts the game off with a 3-pointer. How about Collier? She, entering yesterday, was 0 for 7 this season, shooting threes. She went 3 of 5 yesterday from beyond the arc, and she's got an early one here today. 3-0 Marian after the first possession. St. Francis will try to answer. They move it around the perimeter. Bailey Johnson in the post. Works her way in on Abby McNally and banks it in. Nice move by Bailey Johnson as she's on the board. Johnson back in the starting lineup today with Talia Pellegrini coming off the bench once again after the 2 switch spots yesterday. Marian's got the same starting lineup they have been accustomed to using. Tamia Perryman, Ella Collier, Abby McNally, Allison Bossy, and Kennedy Gerard. This is Perryman with the turnaround, no good. And the rebound grab by Johnson. We'll see if the Fighting Saints can take their first lead of the game right here. Akaya Baker sets up the offense. It's Baker, Leilani Harris, Bailey Johnson, Nia Canelli, and Georgia Bolton for John McGinty's Fighting Saints. Harris, the leading scorer this season for the Fighting Saints, works her way in, leans forward, and misses off the glass. Rebound grab by Bossy. Here's Ella Collier. Top scorer for Marian this year, lobs it inside for Gerard. Further in for McNally, and McNally lays it in right underneath. Nice job by Abby McNally letting the defense blow by and then just laying it in for her first 2 points today. Marian leads by 3. We're 2 minutes into the action. Leilani Harris looking for the cutting Akaya Baker. 2 of them not on the same page as it's intercepted but poked away from Perryman. And the Saints come up with a steal. Back-to-back steals First turnover of the game for each team. And we're right back to where we started. Kaya Baker passes off to Mia Kennelly on the right wing. Back up top, Harris swung around to Georgia Bolton. Bolton drives the lane, left side, floats it up and misses, but she's fouled on the play. 2 free throws coming up for Georgia Bolton, the junior from Australia. A couple of 3-1 teams going head-to-head, but they've gotten there in slightly different ways. Marian, top 10 nationally. They were 5th in the preseason poll. After their loss to Concordia, they dropped down to number 6 earlier this week. St. Francis is unranked. The only ranked team out of the CCAC right now is Indiana South Bend. Georgia Bolton makes both of her free throws, and it's a 1-point game once again. 7:41 to play first quarter. Marian basketball. Gerard outside, gives it to her left. Collier back up top to the point guard, Perryman. They work it around the outside, pass deflected, and knocked into the hands of Georgia Bolton. St. Francis comes up with their second steal of the afternoon already, and Kaya Baker sets up the offense. Gets a screen from Johnson, elects not to use it. Instead, she loses control of the ball, and it's grabbed by Tamia Perryman. Here's Kennedy Gerard right down the lane, shovels it off underneath to McNally, an errant pass, and it goes out of bounds. St. Francis takes possession on the sloppy pass from Marian. Steve Brooks, the third-year head coach of Marian, formerly here at St. Francis, looked up in disbelief. Wanted Gerard to shoot that ball. She was open underneath, tried to pass it out instead. Baker's pass is wild. That's deflected and taken away. Turnovers aplenty over the last 2 minutes. Marian takes it back, leading by 1. Here's Gerard backing in on Bailey Johnson. In good position, so was Johnson. Good defense from Bailey Johnson as Gerard misses down low. St. Francis has another chance here to take the lead. They have not held it yet here in the first quarter. Leilani Harris looking for her first points of the game, lays it up and misses, but she'll go to the free throw line as Allison Bossy is called for the foul.
Marian foul number 25, Allison Bossy, her first, team second. Leilani Harris at the line for 2.
2 shots for Leilani Harris. She came into today's game averaging right around 19 points per game. She makes the first free throw here. Harris scored 13 yesterday, just 4 of 15 from the field. So she's trying to turn that number around as she's tied the score at 5. Now to give St. Francis their first lead today. She makes them both. 6-5 Saints lead, 3 minutes, 37 seconds into the action. A little bit of a slow start offensively as turnovers have been a problem here in the first quarter. Turnovers were a problem for Marian early yesterday. They cleaned it up in a big way as the game went on. Ella Collier in with the left hand, passes back outside to Bossy. 8 on the shot clock for Kennedy Gerard. Gerard fights it up over Lorelei Thormeyer and misses. Rebound goes to Kennelly. Huge size advantage for Gerard over Thormeyer, but Thormeyer held tough and forced the miss. And now she sets things up as the point guard, her first possession in the game offensively for St. Francis. Johnson turns to face the basket. Short jumper misses, and McNally grabs the rebound. St. Francis leads by 1. Marian in a bit of a scoring drought here. In fact, they've hit just 2 field goals today and only 1 since their opening possession. Long 2-point jumper is good from Collier. Ella Collier over the last couple of games has become a whiz from the outside. That time her foot was on the line, so it is just a 2-pointer, but she's got 5 of Marian's 7 points. She scored 25 points last night, and on the season leads the team averaging 19 a game. Here's Thormeyer on the run, off the backboard, no. Rebound goes to Marian. Perryman passes it ahead for Bossy to the cutting McNally, and Abby McNally lays it in. 9-6. Marian ahead by 3 now as they've scored 4 quick points. Kennelly out to Bolton. Georgia Bolton gives it to Lorelei Thormeyer, who bounces into the post. It's Leilani Harris. Harris looking for the cutter, didn't have her. Instead, she takes it herself and banks it in. Nice move, Leilani Harris. And it's just a 1-point game. Tight first quarter here. We're 6 minutes in. Bolton tried to poke it out of the hands of Gerard from behind, but Kennedy Gerard was able to hold on. Pass inside deflected, finds McNally anyway. Gerard is blocked, but a foul called on Bailey Johnson. Saints missed out on an opportunity for a takeaway. The pass was deflected, but still found its way into the intended target's hands. McNally gave it up to Gerard, and Bailey Johnson came down hard on the swing for the block and got Gerard in the process. So a foul called. Kennedy Gerard has 2 free throws, and the first one is good. Kiki Gray in for St. Francis. Bailey Johnson grabs a seat. Takara Harrison is in as well. Second free throw misses, and Harris grabs the rebound. 2-point game as Lorelei Thormeyer sets up the Fighting Saints offense. Thormeyer moves right to left, picks up the dribble, and bounces over to the sophomore Harris. Here's Kennelly on the wing. Up top, Takara Harrison. Harrison gets the screen, going to her right, lobs it down low for Gray. It's intercepted almost by Ella Collier. She couldn't squeeze it inbounds, and so the ball is knocked out. It stays with the Fighting Saints. 8 seconds to shoot. Talia Pellegrini checks in off the bench for the Fighting Saints, so Mia Kennelly is the only starter on the floor. Lobbed in for Gray. Pellegrini up top, just 3 seconds on the shot clock. Takara Harrison has to get one up. It's blocked by Bossy and taken away by Ella Collier before the buzzer sounds, so Marian will run right into their next possession. Ahead by 2. It's been a 1-possession game throughout this first quarter. Aaliyah Evans into the game, swings it around to the right side. Evans gets it back inside the 3-point line. Down to the corner, another 3-point attempt for Collier. Missed it this time. Rebound loose. Thormeyer chases it down to half court, and we've got a timeout called with the ball in Thormeyer's possession. Good hustle from the sophomore point guard for St. Francis. 10-8 score. Marian has the lead. 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's been a slugfest first quarter so far. A lot of action inside the perimeter, something we don't see a ton of from St. Francis. They are typically an outside shooting team, but today all of their field goal attempts have come from 2-point range. They are 2 of 6 shooting, and again have not attempted a 3-point shot yet. We've already seen 6 total turnovers in this game, 3 for both sides. It's been very physical early on. We'll see if that keeps up as this game continues. Marian beat St. Xavier yesterday 82-43. They played a nearly flawless game. Had some turnover problems early, cleaned those up pretty quickly. It was smooth sailing for them after that. St. Francis had some problems shooting yesterday. Trying to get back on track today. Just 2 of 6 from the field up to this point. Lorelei Thormeyer has the ball in her possession. She gives it up to Takara Harrison. Deep 3. Off the mark to the right. And the rebound is tipped into the hands of Tamia Perryman. So there we go, almost 7.5 minutes in. First 3-point field goal attempt of the game for St. Francis. It does not go in, but that one does. Allison Bossy for Marian. Ella Collier's been their big 3-point shooter so far today, but Bossy is more customarily in that role. 50% from the 3-point line this season. She knocks down her first today. The lead is 5 for Marian, their biggest of the game, but the Knights are called for a foul on defense. And St. Francis will inbound from the sideline. It's on Aaliyah Evans. Baker and Harris check back in for the Fighting Saints. Kennelly and Thormeyer go to the bench. So John McGinty trying to put a little bit more offense on the floor to cut into this 5-point deficit. Baker sets it up. Hand off to Harrison. Open 3 for Takara Harrison is good. Saints pull back within 2. Harrison was 0 of 3 on 3-pointers yesterday. Gets one today as Bossy misses the 2-point jumper. The putback is there for Abby McNally. 6 points already for McNally, who's been very impressive in the early going today. 4-point lead for Marian. Saints led at just 1 point here in the first quarter. It was 6-5. Marian has reestablished control since then. Saints are trying to make it a one-possession game right here. Harrison hit the three last time around. This time she passes off to Baker. 6 to shoot. Baker loses it. Taken away by Tamia Perryman. Perryman flies down the floor, bounced off to Collier, and Collier lays it in. 6-point lead for Marian. That comes off the turnover. Baker's had some trouble holding on to the ball so far today. Trying to clean it up on this possession, but she turns it over again. Intercepted by Collier, and she lays it in for 2 more. Timeout called by St. Francis. 19-11 is our score. Back-to-back turnovers for Baker, who has 4 of them in this first quarter, and they've led to some big Marian points as they have extended their lead to 8 with 1 minute and 2 seconds showing on the clock in this first period. 2 timeouts used in the last 2 minutes by St. Francis. They're trying to make sure they keep a grip on this thing. We saw it yesterday. Marian had the ability to pull away in a hurry when things weren't going well for St. Xavier. And the Saints don't want to see that happen again here today. Marian's got 9 points already from Ella Collier. Collier has been sensational this weekend. Yesterday, 25 points on 10 of 17 shooting. Today, 9 points, 4 of 5 from the field so far. So she's got 34 points in just about a full game of action when you consider yesterday she wasn't really out there much in the fourth quarter. The lead was so big for Marian, they were able to pull their starters a little bit early. Pellegrini, Johnson, Harrison, Harris, and Thormeyer on the floor coming out of the timeout. So after back-to-back turnovers from Baker, the Fighting Saints put the ball in the hands of Lorelei Thormeyer to run the offense. Talia Pellegrini drives and draws the foul. Pellegrini stepped up with back-to-back double-digit scoring performances on the road last week for St. Francis. She got her first start of the season on the heels of that yesterday. But she struggled in last night's game. Just 1 of 3 shooting for 4 points. So coming off the bench again today, and she's got her first point of today's contest on the free throw. Second shot from Pellegrini is good. 2 of 2. Saints are within 6, and Pellegrini checks out. Georgia Bolton checks in. See if Marian operates quickly here to try to set up another possession for themselves before the end of the quarter. Down to the corner, Bossy, out to Collier. Here's Evans. Evans bounces down low. McNally wide open, lays it in. Nice ball movement, freeing up Abby McNally underneath the basket. She's got 8. She and Collier have combined on 17 of the team's 21 points. Just a 4-second difference between the shot clock and game clock here. Lorelei Thormeyer back at half court, guarded by Perryman. 12 seconds to shoot. Thormeyer takes her time and now starts to make a move. Bounced over to Leilani Harris. Harris's pass is intercepted by Evans. Aaliyah Evans has 6 seconds. Fires inside to the cutting Collier. Collier shovels it off to Perryman. Back out to Evans. At the buzzer, the three-pointer misses. And we have found our way to the end of the first quarter. Marian 21, St. Francis 13 after the first 10 minutes of play. It was close for a while, but Marian stepped up on the defensive end. They forced 5 turnovers in that first period, and that turned into 4 points. Those 4 points off turnovers came on back-to-back possessions, which helped them build their lead from 4 to 8, and that's where it's at right now. 9 points for Ella Collier, 8 for Abby McNally in that first period. So a bit of a two-man game there for Marian. It's working out for them just fine. St. Francis up to this point has played a little bit of a different style of trying to work the ball inside as much as possible. The vast majority of their field goal attempts in the first quarter came from inside the three-point line, which is not really typical of the way they usually play. Takara Harrison hit the only three-pointer for the Saints in the first quarter. In fact, she's the only one who took a three-pointer. She went 1 of 2. Saints are led thus far by Leilani Harris, 4 points, 2 of them from the free throw line. Free throws are keeping the Saints in the game right now. They are 6 of 6. And overall, they're at a +5 on free throws for the moment over Marian. The Knights are outscoring the Saints from the field 20-7. It is St. Francis's possession coming out to start the second quarter, so we'll see if they can put some points on the board here, make it a 2-score game, and ride that momentum forward a little bit. Kennelly up top to Harrison. Johnson, Harris, and Thormeyer also on the floor for the Saints, and Thormeyer's pass is intercepted by Evans. Tried to bounce it into Harris, but sloppy passing from the Saints. That's their 7th turnover of the game. Gerard on the baseline, working it on Johnson. Gives it up to Evans. Aaliyah Evans loses the handle on it, gets it back, fires into the corner. Down low, it's Perryman. Perryman flips it outside. Evans for 3, shorts. Rebound bounces towards the baseline and out of bounds. First possession of the quarter comes up empty for both teams as the Saints turn it over. And the Knights miss on the 3-point attempt. Here's Mia Kennelly backing it out, passing to Takara Harrison. Leilani Harris at the free throw line. Harris steps in, flips it up off the glass, no good. Rebound tipped into the hands of Ella Collier. Fired ahead, Perryman leading the break. Ahead for Evans, and Aaliyah Evans lays it in. First points of the quarter belong to Marian, and for the first time today, they've got a double-digit lead. 23-13 is our score. St. Francis trying to be a little bit more protective of the basketball. It's Leilani Harris on the outside, guarded by Perryman. Backs her way in, bounces to a cutting Thormeyer, kicked out Kennelly, open 3. Mia Kennelly hits. First points of the game for Kennelly, and a big 3 for St. Francis, who has really been struggling offensively so far in this game. For Kennelly, that's just the 2nd field goal connected on this weekend, and a chance for a 3-point play on the other end as Perryman is fouled going up and finishes with the layup. Foul called on Bailey Johnson. That's number 2 on her. Pellegrini comes in for Harrison, and Gray hops off the bench. She's going to check in for Johnson, who's in foul trouble now with 8:16 to play in the first half. Free throw belongs to Perryman. Perryman just scored her first points of the game, and she finishes a 3-point play to respond to the St. Francis 3-pointer on the other end. 26-16 our score. Thormeyer to Harris over to the left wing. It's Kennelly. Talia Pellegrini on the outside, gets the screen from Gray. Crosses over, back out to Harris. Step back 3-pointer, rattles home. Back-to-back 3-pointers for the Saints. Kennelly and now Harris. It's a 7-point game. St. Francis hanging around here in the first half. Here's Jayla Wayner, who just checked in for the Knights, setting up the offense. Swung around to the corner. Perryman, long 2 is good. Back-to-back 3-pointers for St. Francis. And in the meantime, Perryman has had responses both times. She's got the last 5 for the Knights. That time her foot was over the line. Close to 3-point range. It is a 9-point advantage for the Knights. Harris streaks inside and gets hit from behind. Not able to convert the layup, but she will have 2 free throws.
Marian foul number 2 to be Perryman. Her first.
First foul on Perryman. Leilani Harris is 2 of 2 from the line so far today. 2 more free throws come in her direction. She makes the first. Saints are 7 of 7 from the line. Are back to +5 in points on free throws over Marian. Knights are 2 for 3 from the line. Harris stays perfect. She's got 9 points, including the last 5 for St. Francis. Perryman on the left wing, guarded by Thormeyer. Swung around to the corner, it's J-Lo Wayner. Wayner crosses court to Evans. Aaliyah Evans into the paint, back out. Perryman for 3, she's hot. A 3-pointer for Tamia Perryman. She has scored Marian's last 8 points. And now the Knights' lead is back to 10. St. Francis is finally finding a rhythm offensively, but it's come right at the same time that Perryman has hit her stride. St. Francis has not been able to gain an inch. Harris back to the free throw line, kicks it outside. Thormeyer on the leaner, misses. Gray is there for the offensive rebound. Keisha Gray fighting for positioning. And a travel is called on Gray. Turnover for St. Francis, number 8. Six and a half minutes to play in the half. 10-point lead for the Knights. Trying to pick up their second consecutive victory in as many days. Collier up top around a Wayner to a cutting Aaliyah Evans. Evans stripped from behind by Kennelly, gets it back. Across court, Collier, open 3, air ball. Rebound, Gerard, and we've got a tie-up. Gerard and Kennelly fighting for the ball. Possession arrow belongs to Marian with 9 on the shot clock. St. Francis wanted a foul called on Gerard there, but shared possession is the call instead. Marian triggers it in. Collier, round to the left side, it's Evans, 4 seconds to shoot. I don't think Aaliyah Evans knows the shot clock. Up top to Wayner, blocked by Thormeyer, and it's a shot clock violation. The shot clock does not reset on a held ball if possession stays with the offensive team. And so that inbounds play came with 9 seconds on the shot clock, and I don't think Evans ever recognized it. So a wasted possession for Marian. We'll see if St. Francis can take the opportunity to cut the deficit down to single digits. 5:57 to play in the first half. 10-point lead for the Knights. It's never been higher than 10, but it's been hovering right around this number for a while. St. Francis scored on 3 consecutive possessions for the first time today, but Marian answered every time. Here's Pellegrini driving and kicking it outside to Kennelly. Thormeyer on the move. Thormeyer kicks it back out to the wing, and Kennelly throws it away. An easy interception for Gerard, who is playing in front of Gray. Here's Trable out to Wayner, down to the corner. Ella Collier. Collier works it to the opposite end. 2-point attempt misses short from Josie Trable, and it's one and done for the Knights. So both teams got hot offensively at the same time, and now both teams have cooled off at the same time. It remains a 10-point margin. Harris gets the screen from Gray, works into the paint. Now Harris throws it out of bounds. She was looking for Gray, a little bit too much heat on that pass. Another turnover for St. Francis. They've been plentiful in today's first half, having some trouble holding on to the ball. Wayner gives it up top to Collier, around to Allison Bossy, guarded by her fellow number 25, Pellegrini. Down low, Gerard kicks it out to a wide open shooter. 3-pointer is good for Allison Bossy. Her second made 3 today. She's got 6 points. And Marian has built their lead to a game-high 13. Pellegrini off to Harris. Leilani Harris drives, backing in. Harris forces a contact on Bossy, who rips the ball away. Lobbed ahead for Collier. 2-on-1. Collier is fouled by Pellegrini. So Ella Collier, who was so strong in the first quarter and has gone quiet over the last 10 minutes of game time, will get a chance to move into double figures from the free throw line. She's got 9 points for the game. Georgia Bolton comes in for Keisha Gray. First free throw is good from Collier. 10 points for her. Second shot up and in. 36-21. Marian has the lead. Lorelei Thormeyer sets up the Fighting Saints offense. Bounced off to Harris. Leilani Harris works her way in on Bossy. Passed back out. Now Pellegrini tries to penetrate, and Collier reaches her hands in. Forces another tie-up. Possession arrow to St. Francis. Kaya Baker returns to the floor for the Fighting Saints. Baker makes her first appearance of the second period. Leading scorer for the Fighting Saints yesterday. Baker inbounds it to Harris. Harris with the shot clock running down, throws it in off the backboard. Nice move, Leilani Harris. 11 points for her already. She's accounted for just about half of the Saints' offensive production. Here's Josie Trable passing inside. Kennedy Gerard double teamed. Back out to Trable. Three-pointer on the money. Josie Trable has her first three of the game. 39-23 our score. Baker in the corner. Step back two-point jumper misses. And the rebound goes to Marian. Trable fires it ahead for Gerard. Blocked but finishes anyway and draws the foul. Marian pulling away here in the second quarter, firing on all cylinders offensively. Three-point opportunity for Kennedy Gerard, and she hits the free throw. She's got 4 points. The lead is up to 19 all of a sudden for Marian. We're on a roll. Bolton, top of the key to Leilani Harris. Harris walks it inside the three-point line, picks up her dribble, and finds Talia Pellegrini back outside. Harris for three, no good. Rebounded by Trable. 19-point lead for Marian. They can extend it beyond 20 on this possession. Fired inside for Gerard. Bolton over pursued on the pass, and Gerard has a wide open layup. The lead continues to grow for Marian. Up to 21 now. Gerard has scored the last 5, and she's got 6 points for the game. Baker into the paint, throws it away. Intercepted by Collier. Here's Ella Collier, 2-on-2, takes it in herself, misses. Good defense from Harris. And Kennelly comes away with the loose ball. Here's Pellegrini for the Saints, out to Baker. Open three for Akaya Baker, no good. That would have been a big one for St. Francis as they try to work their way back into the game. Instead, momentum back for Marian as Trable knocks down her second three in a row. 6 points for Josie Trable. Kaya Baker drives the left hand. She flips it up with the right hand and misses. Rebound Bossy. Bossy fires it outside. Trable on the drive, lays it in. Josie Trable's got 8. Marian has all the momentum, and they're fired up as St. Francis calls timeout. 48-23, a minute 36 to play in the first half. St. Francis hung with them for most of this half, but a great run for Marian right now. St. Francis is having some trouble on both ends of the floor. They have just one basket in the last 4 minutes, as Marian has gone on an 18-4 run to break this game wide open here in the second quarter. The Knights are shooting 61% from the field right now, and yesterday they shot 56% for the game. Seemed like that would be hard to beat today. So far they've done that, nearing the halfway point. 11 points for Ella Collier. Both Tamia Perryman and Abby McNally have 8. Leilani Harris has 11 for St. Francis, but nobody else has scored more than 3. It's going to be Thormeyer, Harrison, Bolton, Kennelly, and Harris on the floor for the Saints coming out of the timeout. The Knights counter with Trable, Bossy, Collier, Gerard, and Weiner. Lorelei Thormeyer sets up the offense for the Fighting Saints. This is Kennelly at the free throw line, back to the basket. Out to Harris. One dribble, fires to the right, it's Kennelly. Leilani Harris backs in, kicks it out to Bolton. Bolton fakes the three, drives and kicks. Harris with 7 on the shot clock. Leilani Harris tries to spin around Collier. Underhand shot is good. Wasn't able to shake Collier. Instead, she took the contact and scored. 13 points for Leilani Harris. Hasn't had a lot of help offensively so far. Long two-pointer from Trable finally misses. She had been red hot. But not this time. St. Francis has the ball down 23, trying to make it back-to-back possessions with points. Pass down into the corner for Takara Harrison. Harrison keeps the dribble alive, now loses it. Diving on the floor, Weiner comes up with a steal. And a foul is called. That was actually Bossy, who initially had an apparent steal for Marian, never had control of it though. St. Francis was able to take it back, and Marian is called for the foul. Crazy sequence there, but when it all shakes out, it's still St. Francis's ball, and now the shot clock is reset to 20. Thormeyer gets it in to Harris. Back outside, Bolton. Thormeyer works her way to the free throw line, kicks it out to Harrison, tries from three-point range, and Harrison knocks down her second three-pointer of the game. Saints have scored 5 in a row. They've pulled back within 20, and they're hoping that that's the deficit at halftime as Marian gets one more possession here. 7 seconds. Weiner works her way to the three-point line. Kicked out for Collier. Long two is good, and that will end the first half. Ella Collier has 13 points and got an open jumper to wrap up the second quarter. It carries us into halftime, a first half dominated, particularly the second quarter, by the team in gray today. Marian pulled away and built a 25-point lead. Saints cut into it just a tad, but it is a 22-point game at halftime. Marian 50, St. Francis 28. 15-minute break here. I'll be back after that to get you second half action as St. Francis trails Marian big. 50-28 our score in today's game. It's halftime at the University of St. Francis, but it won't be for long. We're about set to start second half of today's game between the Fighting Saints and the Knights of Marian University. Terry Bonadonna with you for another 20 minutes of basketball action. The Fighting Saints have a lot of coming back to do. They trail by 22, 50-28 is our score, and the statistics certainly bear that out. Really, all Marian today, they've shot 63% from the field. St. Francis has taken a big step up in terms of shooting from yesterday when they really struggled to put the ball in the basket. They're at 42% from the field today after shooting just 31% yesterday, but still obviously a big step behind Marian. Rebounds are 13-11 in favor of Marian. Turnovers is the big one. Fighting Saints have coughed it up 12 times. Marian has turned it over 3 times. Points off turnovers 9-2 in favor of Marian. Both teams have shot the ball well from the outside. The Knights are 5 of 11 from three-point range. The Saints are 4 of 7. Inside has been dominated by the Knights, 22-6 in the paint. Ella Collier has 13 points to lead the Knights. Leilani Harris has 13 to lead St. Francis. Now we're ready to start the second half. Marian basketball. Tamia Perryman inbounds it to Ella Collier to get us started. Starters on the floor for both teams. On the cut, it's Bossy giving it up to Kennedy Gerard, working in the post against Bailey Johnson. Turnaround comes up short. Offensive rebound. Abby McNally is fouled by Bailey Johnson, and that's the freshman's 3rd foul. So she was on the bench for the majority of the second quarter after picking up her 2nd. And now 16 seconds into the 3rd quarter, she already has her 3rd. Abby McNally scores on the first free throw. McNally was hot early, 8 points in the first quarter, didn't score in the second, but she's up to 9 now. Trying to become the second Knight in double figures, and she achieves that goal. 10 points for McNally, 24-point lead for Marian. The 6th-ranked team in the nation. They lost last time they played in this building. They were the number 1 team in the country at the time. That was 3 years ago. Here's Harris off to Baker. Baker for 3. It's good. First field goal of the game for Akaya Baker. She played just 7 minutes in the first half. 5 turnovers, no points. But she starts the second half out strong. Last time Marian played in this building, their head coach, Steve Brooks, was on the opposite sideline. Now in his 3rd year with Marian, John McGinty's in his 3rd with St. Francis. Bailey Johnson picks up her 4th foul. So McGinty let her stick in there after picking up her 3rd, but now she's got 4 fouls less than a minute later. She's been called for 2 in the first 62 seconds of the half. Tamia Perryman will go to the free throw line. Actually, she's already there. 2 shots coming up for Perryman. She'll shoot them after they wipe up the wet spot on the floor. And with the break for that janitorial work, Bailey Johnson heads to the bench. Takara Harrison is in. First free throw from Perryman is good. Perryman had 8 points in a 1-minute span in the second period. Those were her only 8 points in the game until now. She's got 9. Make it 10. 54-31. Marian has the lead. Their biggest lead has been 25. It was at 48-23. Harris drives, blocked out of bounds by Bossy. Stays with the Saints. Good defensive play by Bossy. Baker inbounds to Mia Kennelly, who tracks it down just shy of the three-point line. Bounced in tight. Leilani Harris makes a move to the left. No good. Another good defensive stand by Bossy. No points that trip down the floor for the Fighting Saints. Inside, McNally left alone, and she's able to finish. 12 points for Abby McNally. Kennelly came in late to try to challenge the shot, but McNally made the catch underneath the basket completely clean. And an easy 2 for her. Baker on the left, three-point attempts. Too strong. Rebound grabbed by Bossy. Harris tried to poke it away unsuccessfully. Lobbed in for Girard. Kennedy Girard, guarded by Kennelly, spins, puts it up, and draws the foul. Back to the free throw line for Girard, 5'11" tall senior for Marian. And with Bailey Johnson on the bench with 4 fouls, Saints are going very small. Marian is taking advantage by really getting the ball tight inside. First free throw is good. One more to come. Girard goes 1 of 2. She's 3 for 5 from the line today. 7 points. Biggest lead so far for Marian, 26 points. Takara Harrison drives, comes up short. Here comes Girard the other way. Takes it right into Leilani Harris, and Harris forces a jump ball. Nice defense from Harris. She held her ground, got her hands on the ball, and we're going the other way. Baker is back in. She and Thormeyer, the 2 point guards, on the floor simultaneously for the first time today as Leilani Harris checks out. Baker walks to the left. Her pass deflected out of bounds. Harrison inbounds to Baker. Baker sets up the offense once again. 7.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Baker drives, puts it up and misses, but she's fouled. So Kaya Baker goes to the free throw line for 2 shots. Second foul on Perryman. First time the Saints have gone to the free throw line in the second half. Keisha Gray is in. Takara Harrison checks out. Baker makes the first of 2 free throw attempts. Baker 8 of 11 now from the free throw line this season as she makes 1 of 2. Back to a 25-point game. Marian has possession. Perryman lobs it down low. McNally in the paint, puts up another one and scores 2 more points. 14 points for McNally. She has surpassed Ella Collier as the team leader. 3 nights in double figures. High post, Gray out to Pellegrini. Around a screen to the left, Pellegrini drives, loses a handle on it, and dribbles it out of bounds. Harris is back in. Thormeyer sits down. Perryman walks it to the left, guarded by Kennelly. Up top, Ella Collier. Collier puts it on the floor and drives. Turnaround jumper for her. Rolls around the rim, does not fall. Offensive rebound, and the putback is good for Abby McNally. 16 points now for McNally. 8 of them have come in the first 3.5 minutes of this second half. Ball ticks off the hands of Gray, but she's able to track it down, keep the possession alive. Here's Baker cutting down the lane. Baker kicks it out to Pellegrini. Open look, Kennelly for 3. Good. A high arcer from Mia Kennelly. She knocks down her second 3-pointer of the game. 6 points for the sophomore. Kennelly pulls the Saints within 26. 61-35 is our score. Here's McNally backing in, passed out to Collier. Collier hasn't scored yet in the second half. This is Bossy. Down low McNally, who dragged her feet around before taking a dribble. Traveling called. Bailey Johnson is back in for St. Francis. Johnson's committed 4 fouls. but she'll play through that right now. 5:45 still to play in the third quarter. Baker takes it inside on Perryman and gets bumped on her way to the hoop. Perryman took the worst of that. She's still on the ground right now. She'll get some assistance from the trainer. Perryman was called for the foul. It's her third. She went up and made contact with Baker on Baker's drive to the rim, but Perryman came down awkwardly. So she's in pain on the ground right now underneath the basket. 61-35. Marian leads St. Francis. 5 minutes, 37 seconds remain in the third quarter. Marian has been able to continually distance themselves. They have outscored St. Francis since halftime 11-7. Fighting Saints are trying to get things going offensively. They've been able to do a little bit more in that venue than they were able to yesterday when they shot just over 30% for the game. Today their shooting has been a little bit better. They've had a problem with turnovers, 13 of them, including 5 for Akaya Baker and 4 for Leilani Harris. They've certainly shot the ball much better from the outside. 6 of 10 on three-pointers. Mia Kennelly just knocked down her second of the game. Takara Harrison has 2 as well. Leilani Harris is the team's leading scorer with 13 points so far today, but the offensive balance for Marian has been awfully impressive. 16 points for McNally, 13 for Collier, 10 for Tamia Perryman, who is likely going to stop at 10. She's still lying on the ground underneath the basket, so it's impossible to say what the severity of her injury is, but anytime a player is down that long, especially when you've got a 26-point lead, you're not likely to risk putting her in again later. So I would guess we've seen the end of Perryman for today. She is up, and she's going to be helped off the floor. But again, it appears that her day is done. Hopefully she's okay and ready to continue the season for Marian when they resume action next week. But probably a safe bet that Perryman is done for today. So she is out. Akaya Baker will head to the free throw line, and she'll get 2 shots once we're ready to continue here. I didn't see exactly what happened to Perryman. She went up to try to challenge the shot from Baker, and she made contact in the process. Perryman was called for the foul. Talk about an insult to injury. So the foul was on Perryman, but after the whistle blew, I think she came down awkwardly, landed in a tough position, and ended up falling to the ground. So she's been carried off the court and is now in the trainer's room. We wish her the best, but we'll continue the game in the meantime with Akaya Baker shooting free throws and making the first one. 61-36. Another shot for Baker. Misses, and the rebound goes to Marian. Wayner passes to the right, gets it back. Fired inside. Kennedy Gerard knocked loose by Bailey Johnson. The ball grabbed by Gerard, though, kept alive by Marian, and they swing it around to McNally, who's open inside for another layup. 18 points for Abby McNally, and the majority of them have been right there underneath the basket. Baker drives from the left wing. Baker floats it towards the rim, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jayla Wayner. Wayner passes to her left. Ella Collier back up to Wayner. Collier steps back outside the three-point line and kicks it off to the cutting McNally. Out to Wayner, 11 to shoot. Wayner finds Collier up top. Collier drives on Kennelly. Pull-up jumper, rolls it in. Collier's got her first points of the second half. 15 in the game now for the team's leading scorer on the season. Ella Collier, senior out of Danville, Indiana. Had 25 yesterday. 15 more today. Deep three this time for Kennelly, and it's too long. Rebound tipped into the hands of Jayla Wayner. Kennelly had been 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. Perfect no more. Wayner on the right side. Lobs it down low. This is Girard spinning. Girard is able to get the positioning she needs, and 2 more points for her. 9 in the game for Girard. The lead is 31 for Marian. Pellegrini to Baker. Baker for 3. No good. Rebound high in the air. Bossy goes up to meet it. Jayla Wayner slows things down a tad for the Knights. Marian won by 39 points yesterday. They're on pace to match or surpass that today. Collier streaks to the hoop and lays it in. 17 for Collier. Timeout called, 69-36. 3:23 to play in the third quarter. All Marian right now. They are controlling every aspect of this game, shooting 61% from the field so far. They've protected the basketball, just 4 turnovers. And a quick correction, 63% from the field for Marian, only 4 turnovers. They've got 21 assists on their 26 made baskets. So their ball movement has been great, and they're dominating St. Francis on the boards as well. 22 rebounds to 14 for the Fighting Saints. And in this quarter alone, they're out rebounding St. Francis 9-3. And it has shown in the way that they have continued to build this lead, outscoring the Saints by 9 since halftime. St. Francis has possession here. Getting late in the third quarter. Huge deficit for the Saints. Trying to cut into it a little bit. Thormeyer over to Harris. Mia Kennelly on the left wing. Up top to Cara Harrison. Harrison feigns the shot, makes a move inside. Now looking for help, can't find any. She throws up a wild shot. It's blocked by McNally. And the Saints catch a break as Marian steps on the line out of bounds. It's a turnover. It was Kylie McNally who stepped out of bounds. I think she was standing out of bounds when she received that pass. Ball knocked loose by Abby McNally. So Abby and Kylie are playing on the floor together for the first time this weekend. Three-pointer is wild from Takara Harrison. Rebound to Allison Bossy. Pushed ahead, Josie Trable. Down to Kylie McNally, out to Bossy. Three-pointer is good. Everything's falling tonight for Marian. St. Francis looks to answer. Turnaround for Harris. Comes up a little bit short, but she's fouled. And Leilani Harris will go to the line. Second foul on Allison Bossy. Harris is 4 of 4 from the line today, but she misses for the first time. Second attempt is good. Off the front iron, gets the roll. 72-37 is our score. Josie Trable to her right. This is Jayla Wayner. Up top, Kylie McNally into Trable. Trable, one bounce, back out to Wayner. Cross court finds Bossy. A cutting Kylie McNally gives it up to Abby McNally, who lays it in. Beautiful ball movement. The two McNallys, almost like they've played together before. Kylie McNally came in late yesterday. She played only 5 minutes down the stretch in a blowout. 6 points. Harris is blocked. Bailey Johnson is there for the follow. Johnson scored the first 2 points of the game for St. Francis. That's her first bucket since then. She's got 4 points. 35-point lead for Marian. Fired into the paint. McNally turned to face the basket like she wanted to shoot. Instead, she passes off to Abby McNally. Out to Josie Trable, who misses. Rebound, Abby McNally. Off the backboard and in. 22 for McNally this afternoon. Coming down to the final minute of the third quarter. Takara Harrison dribbles in with the right hand. Harrison off the backboard, no. Rebound deflected out to Kylie McNally, who leads the charge for Marian. McNally gives it to Jayla Wayner, and a technical foul is called against John McGinty. So that halts the Marian possession. They'll go to the free throw line. Technical foul on the Fighting Saints coach. And Allison Bossy will get 2 free throws here. She misses the first. First miss from the line this year for Bossy, who makes the second. Bossy's now got 7 points for the game. And following one of 2 free throws, Marian's got the ball back. Jayla Wayner sets it up. Wayner dribbles to the left, bounces inside. Abby McNally working against Talia Pellegrini. Passes back outside, around to the corner. Jayla Wayner is called for the travel. Just the 6th turnover today for Marian. Final minute of the third quarter. Probably the final shot of the period coming up for St. Francis. Baker looks around, finds Harrison. Baker lobs it down low. Johnson splits a double team, flips it up. No foul called as Johnson comes up short. Going quickly the other way, it's Kylie McNally dribbling it straight out of bounds. So after committing just 5 turnovers through the first 29 minutes, Marian has coughed it up twice in a row. And St. Francis will get one more shot here this quarter, probably final possession for either side. Hand off to Takara Harrison. Fighting Saints working around the perimeter. It's Harrison. Harrison steps around the screen from Johnson, drives to the baseline. Harrison fighting for positioning. 2 seconds left. She's blocked. It is taken away by Abby McNally, who did not get the shot off before the buzzer sounded. So it ends on the McNally block. And we have reached the fourth quarter. 77-39. Marian dominating this one today on the road at St. Francis. They won yesterday by 39 points. And looking to pull off something similar today against St. Xavier and St. Francis, the 2 teams that have controlled the CCAC for the last decade or so. They are not the favored teams this year. A couple of Indiana outfits, at least as far as the preseason predictions were concerned, were expected to be the top of the CCAC, but you never count out St. Francis or St. Xavier the way that they have played the last several years. And I'm not going to count them out now either, but not the best starts to the season for these CCAC teams. The Indiana schools have dominated the ones from Illinois this week. Double-digit victories on back-to-back days for St. Francis of Indiana. They beat the Saints yesterday and then St. Xavier today. And then Marian, even better than that. 39-point win yesterday, a 35-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter today. They're led by Abby McNally, who's got 22 points in today's game and has not missed a field goal. She's 10 for 10. McNally tried the half-court shot at the end of the third quarter, and she didn't get it off in time. It almost went in, and if it had, it wouldn't have counted, but because it didn't go in and because it didn't count, her record remains perfect. She is still 10 for 10. The half-court shot doesn't go against her. 22 points, 7 rebounds. Ella Collier's got 17. Leilani Harris leads the Saints with 14 points. Marian basketball, and they've brought in some of their reserves to start the fourth quarter here. This is Josie Trable on the drive, kicks it outside. At the free throw line, Kylie McNally fights through traffic, misses, gets her own rebound. McNally passes it out to Olivia Faust. And a whistle before a shot. I think it's a clock issue here. Taylor Double is in for Marian. Already mentioned Olivia Faust. Sarah Majorasova is in as well. Along with Kylie McNally, who was out there to end the third quarter, and Josie Trable, who we've seen a lot of today. Saints have Pellegrini, Harrison, Johnson, Harris, and Baker. And they'll get back to it after the Council of Officials is done talking things over. I'm not sure what they could be talking about. Nothing's happened yet this half. John Shalenko, Carrie Kelly, Gail Huster are the officials in today's game. Shot clock is reset to 10. Trable hands it off. Majorasova is bumped by Kaya Baker. And a foul called on St. Francis. Lobbed in for McNally. Trable surveys the scene, bounces it inside. Kylie McNally, double team, passes back outside. Stepping in, Sarah Majorasova misses the jumper. Rebound Harrison. Here comes Kaya Baker. Baker pulls up at the foul line. Jumper is good. Baker's got 7. St. Francis down by 36 with just under 9 minutes to play. Here's Majorasova, guarded by Leilani Harris. Fires inside. Kylie McNally lays it up and in. First points today for McNally. I mentioned before she had 6 points in just 5 minutes yesterday. She's played a big impact since entering today's game as well. Those are her first points. Leilani Harris tries to answer but can't. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 points now for McNally. Majorasova runs point. She dribbles it off to the left side. Guarded by Harrison, fired out into the corner. 3-point attempt, Olivia Faust, no good. Rebound deflected. Harris dives on the floor and pokes it to Takara Harrison. So a rebound for the Fighting Saints as Baker makes her way down the floor. Baker looking for help, gives it up to Harris. 3-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Kylie McNally of Marian. 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Marian's lead is comfortable. Outside, Olivia Faust for 3, off the mark. Rebounded by Harris. Baker lobs to the cutting Bailey Johnson, who lays it up. No good, but a foul called on Kylie McNally coming in from behind. Nice find right there as Johnson received the pass cutting to the basket. And Johnson will try to add 2 more to her total. She's sitting on 4 points for right now. First free throw from Bailey Johnson is good. The freshman from Elgin, Illinois, gets 1 more shot and hits it. She's got 6, 79-43, 7.5 minutes to play. Trable dribbles around the perimeter. Hounded by Thormeyer, picks it up. Hands it to Majorasova. She's picked up by Thormeyer. Majorasova drives to the left hand, picks up her dribble, and passes inside to Kylie McNally, and McNally lays it up and in with the left hand. Four points for McNally. Baker trying to hit double figures with a 3-point attempt. She misses it. Long rebound off the hands of Lorelei Thormeyer and coughed up. Here come the Knights. Inside, a miss and an offensive rebound for Taylor Double. Another chance inside for Marian, knocked out of bounds. It stays with the Knights. 18 on the shot clock. Good chance for double to score moments ago, but was not able to finish. She did get her own rebound, though. So Marian still in control of the basketball as it's sent in for Faust. Faust passes to her right, Trable. Fakes right, drives left, into the paint, picks up her dribble, kicks it outside, and we've got a 3-second call on Kylie McNally. Ava Fisher comes in for Marian. 81-43 the score, 6:35 to play. St. Francis still playing largely their starting lineup as Talia Pellegrini drives and throws it right into the waiting hands of Taylor Double. An easy steal for Double. Ahead for McNally. Kylie McNally's shot doesn't count. An offensive foul, I believe that's on Ava Fisher, setting a moving screen for McNally's drive. So first on Fisher. St. Francis gets the ball back following the turnover. Kennelly's pass deflected and stolen by Faust. So even with the second team in, Marian is forcing a lot of turnovers, playing a tight, aggressive defense. Not quite as sharp offensively as the first team was, though. Off the hands of Olivia Faust on that pass, deflected out. Another turnover committed by the Knights. Saints get it back and set it up with Akaya Baker. Pellegrini back to Baker, three-point attempt. Off to the left. Rebound from Majorasova, lobbed ahead for Fisher and intercepted by Baker. They tried the home run pass, and instead it's another turnover for Marian. Baker from the top, jump stop in the paint, kicks it out to Pellegrini. Here's Thormeyer along the baseline, guarded by Fisher. Thormeyer has it knocked loose. Bailey Johnson picks up the loose ball, and she's fouled. Johnson's been out there for about 8 minutes playing with 4 fouls and hasn't picked up her 5th. She's been a lot more active in the offense. She checks out now as Gray comes in for her. Harrison checks in for the Fighting Saints as well. And a timeout is called. 5:24 to play, 81-43. Marian has the big lead. Yesterday they won by an 82-43 final. So more of the same for them today. It has, I think, been safe to say that this has been a successful weekend for the Knights. After they dropped their first game of the year to Concordia last weekend, they have bounced back very impressively. 39-point win yesterday, a 38-point lead today. Abby McNally scored 22 points on 10 of 10 shooting. She's likely done for the day. I think we've seen the end of the starters for Marian. We'll see how long John McGinty sticks with his. Leilani Harris has been on the bench for much of this fourth quarter. She leads the Saints with 14 points. Akaya Baker's got 7, but on just 2 of 10 shooting. Bailey Johnson, Mia Kennelly, and Takara Harrison have each chipped in with 6 points for the Saints. St. Francis is shooting just 20% from the field in the second half. I spent a lot of time talking earlier about how that was one thing that had been going their way today. A big increase in shooting percentage compared to yesterday in the first half, but that has not been the case here in the second. 4 of 20. Saints do go to their bench here. They bring in the freshman Ryan Haubo as Keisha Gray lays it up and in off the inbounds play. Gray's got her first 2 points today. (81-45). Here's Kenna Gray setting up the offense for Marian. Faust drives, uncontested. Now her pass is contested and stolen by Talia Pellegrini. She was looking for Esther Sevilla. Pellegrini drives with the right hand, fouled by Sevilla. And Talia Pellegrini will go to the line for 2 shots. First of 2 free throws for Pellegrini is good. Pellegrini hits them both. She's got 4 points. Had 4 yesterday as well. The Saints have scored 4 in a row. Taylor Double holds on the left wing, guarded by Lorelei Thormeyer. Double dribbles to the top and passes to her right. Down to the corner, it's Olivia Faust. Faust steps it back outside to the half-court logo. 7 on the shot clock for Faust. Makes her move on Pellegrini. Dribbling to the right, she hands it off to Double. Double's got to force one up from 3-point range. It's short. Offensive rebound. Kenna Gray. And they reset. They use the full 30 seconds. Didn't score, but they get a chance to start all over. Pass inside, deflected out of bounds by St. Francis. 10 on the shot clock. It stays with Marian. Marian has had the ball for 40 seconds already on this possession. Inbounded high to Olivia Faust. Swung around the perimeter. Ava Fisher drives. Fisher fights it up and in. 45-second possession ends with 2 points for Ava Fisher and the Marian Knights. They extend their lead to 36. Harrison down low to Gray. Gray can't handle it. Loses the ball. Kenna Gray is there to scoop it up. Gray ahead for Fisher. Fisher spins around Thormeyer inside, misses on the layup. Rebounded by Gray and St. Francis. Here comes Pellegrini. Pellegrini's got Harrison to her left, finds her. Harrison for 3, no good. Long rebound, tips out of bounds. Last touched by Harrison on the shot. 3:27 to play. Marian basketball up by 36. Bailey Johnson checks back in for the Saints. Fisher walks to the right side, now turns on the Jets. Fisher all the way to the hoop and in. Caught the Saints napping there. Good drive by Ava Fisher. 4 points for her off the bench here in the fourth quarter. Thormeyer shovels it off to Harrison. Around to Haubolt. Harrison drives to the right hand, back out to Haubolt. 3-point attempt, banks it in. First collegiate points for Ryan Haubolt. I don't know if that's the way she planned it, but she'll take the 3. $85-50. Marian has possession. Faust's on the right side. Faust takes the 3 and she drains it. Faust just working her way around the 3-point line. Nobody ever got in her face, so she decided to fire the shot. Worked out for her. 2:20 to play. Johnson out to Thormeyer. Thormeyer drives to the left hand. Layup, no, but a foul called. It's the second foul called on Fisher. Free throw for Thormeyer is good. She goes 2 for 2 from the line. First points of the game for Lorelei Thormeyer. Taylor double, puts the ball behind her back. Passes into the corner. Kenna Gray drives up with the right hand, no. Rolled around the rim, didn't fall. Esther Sevilla is there. Second chance points for Marian. They're up to 90 now, 90-52. First points for Sevilla. Johnson, high post. Out to Harrison. Harrison moves to her right, fired down low for Johnson, ripped out of her hands by Sevilla. Here's Taylor double. And a timeout called by Marian. 91 seconds still to play. 90-52. Marian has the lead on St. Francis. Everything has come together this week for the Knights, a team that started the season 3-1. But they entered play yesterday coming directly off of a loss against Concordia out in Nebraska. So to have the performances they've had this weekend are big, not only to get the results, but they've really brought their offense to life. Even when they started the season 2-0, they were scoring 77 points per game, and then were held to just 62 in their loss to Concordia. But over the last 2 days, they have scored 172 points in 2 games, an average of 86 per contest, with another minute and a half still to try to add a few more. 22 points for McNally today. She was one of 4 Marian Knights in double figures. 11 different Knights have scored at least once in today's game. Saints have almost matched that. They've had 10 players score, but only 1 in double figures. Leilani Harris with 14. Marian ball out of the timeout. Majorasova is back in. She inbounds it to Double. Kenna Gray trapped, gives it up to Double. 2-point jumper misses. Johnson grabs the rebound. Here's Thormeyer for St. Francis. Thormeyer, Johnson, Houbolt, Pellegrini, and Harrison on the floor for the Saints. This is Takara Harrison driving, pivoting, passes to Johnson, deflected, and grabbed by Kenna Gray. Gray fires it down into the corner. One more pass to Fisher. 3-pointer is good. Ava Fisher, 7 points for the freshman off the bench today, all in the 4th quarter. And St. Francis calls a timeout. Just a substitution timeout, I think. Fisher had not scored this season in the team's first 4 games. She's got 7 points here. Quite a run for her. Saints turn to the bench, brings in Hannah Choki, freshman out of St. Lawrence High School, for the final minute or so of today's game. First collegiate action for Hannah Choki, who gets the touch in the post. Turnaround, blocked by Sevilla. Here comes Marian one more time. Fisher kicks it outside. Majorasova down low. Esther Sevilla left all alone. An easy layup for her. 95-52, the lead for Marian. Shot clock has just a half-second difference with the game clock right now. Houbolt up top to Pellegrini. Thormeyer for 3, rolls it in. First field goal today for Lorelei Thormeyer. 95-55 is the score. We'll see if that's the final. It looks like Marian will not operate here on the final possession. They'll dribble out the clock and be content with a 40-point victory. They outdid yesterday's performance, a 39-point win last night over St. Xavier. And here this afternoon, they defeat St. Francis by 40. 95-55 is our final score. What a run for Marian over the last couple of days. And they found their groove midway through that first half today, and it seemed like they could do no wrong after that. They end up today shooting 59% from the field, 8 of 19 on 3-pointers. Abby McNally was a perfect 10 of 10 from the field, 22 points. Allison Bossy, perfect from beyond the 3-point arc, 3 for 3. She finished with 10 points, 17 for Ella Collier, 10 for Tamia Perryman in just 17 minutes before she left with an injury. Just a really impressive performance all around for Marian. Saints shot just 34% from the field, but they were sharp from beyond the arc at 42%. Leilani Harris led the way with 14 points. 7 for Akaya Baker and 6 apiece for Harrison, Kennelly, and Johnson. Saints got 4 rebounds each from Harris and Kennelly, but were out-rebounded in the game 40-20. And a big part of the reason they were unsuccessful in today's game. Marian used those rebounds and the turnover differential as well to take 20 more shots in today's game than St. Francis did. Turnovers were 18-12, and most of those Marian turnovers were committed by the reserves after they pulled their starters late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. So all Marian today, they defeat St. Francis by a final score of 95-55. Very impressive performance for the Knights. Next up for St. Francis, they hit the road for a while. They'll head to Viterbo on Wednesday. That is not a conference game. Viterbo has been welcomed as the newest member of the CCAC, but they will not become an official member until next year. So that is a non-conference game this week when they meet up. And they will not be home again until the end of the month. November 29th is the next home game for St. Francis. So a few in a row on the road. We'll see if they're able to sort some things out, trying to come off of back-to-back losses as they fall to 3-2 on the season. Marian improves their record to 4-1 this year as they leave Joliet winners of 2 in a row. That's going to do it for today's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. A big win for the Marian Knights, who improved to 4 wins and 1 loss with back-to-back blowout victories here at St. Francis this weekend. Until next time, Terry Bonadonna here signing off for the University of St. Francis. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.